Hello, I'm Dr. Paul, and this is my beautiful wife, Lynn. And today we're going to discuss a little different aspect of plasma energy. So far we've been talking about how to use plasma energy to support the health in our bodies. Well, today we're going to discuss how to use plasma energy to support the peace of the feelings and the emotions that we have. And in order to get started with this, Lynn will give us a little introduction.
Okay, well basically with the peace vial, you're going to be using intention. And why would you do that? You're going to set up your peace jar of water, and what you're going to do is take a clear glass or clear plastic bottle, and as you can see, we have the vial right inside the bottle right here. And now that has changed the water into the peace formula that we have. Now what can I do with this once I have it? Well, first of all, I can drink it. And if I like to have spray bottles. Here's a spray bottle that I have set up. And how would I use this? Well, if I want to have my house surrounded with peace, how about I put some of this peace spray around the doors, the windows, the thresholds, and then you might consider doing some little vials or even spraying on perimeter rocks around your property to set up a whole environment of peace. So that's a suggestion. Can your animals drink this? Absolutely yes. And with the water that you use, we're going to suggest that you use filtered, good spring water, good well water, or distilled water. And please don't use tap water. We've got too many things going on in the tap water in many locations. So for starters, that's how you would set it up. You're going to receive a vial of the Peace Gans water that will be a glass vial in warm door to warm door. But when it's winter time and it gets to 20 below where we are, you're going to receive a BPA-free plastic vial that we know will not freeze and break. So that's the conditions there. If you're from overseas or outside of the country, we take the pads that we make, completely soak them with the peace water, let it dry completely, and then these are encased in plastic and then have clear packing plastic tape over them. So they're really sturdy. And what can you do if you have a jar of peace and you want to share it with your family?
You can take some, put it in a vial, and give it to your friend or relative, and they can take that vial and use it the same way that you did when you got your vial.
And will it have a loss of potency?
No loss of potency, and it will last longer than we will.
And so it's completely duplicatable, and you can share it with them. If they make a peace pad or a peace vial, it's going to be the same.
They can also share it with their friends and relatives.
Okay, so that's a little bit about the peace. Paul, do you want to talk about what's
in this peace combination? And the main ingredient is zinc oxide, and zinc has a direct relationship and influence on our emotions. And the peace within us is an emotion, and it's something that we need to be aware of and cognizant of at all times, and carry that intention of peace with you. Having the zinc oxide along with the carbon which makes the connection with the human body, and then the amino acid, hemoglobin, and a little bit of CH3 as a booster, makes this peace combination a powerful aid in establishing peace and well-being.
Okay, and we have a peace intention that we put together, but let me explain first what we did. We have taken jars of water like this, and because we're close to a creek, we've put some peace water in the creek. And as far as I'm concerned, it's made it all the way around the world. What do you think?
Well, yes, because this creek that goes close to us here flows into the Yellowstone River, which flows into the Missouri River, which flows into the Mississippi River, which flows into the Gulf of Mexico, and then all the oceans of the world. So peace formulation from Montana is now spread around the world.
And it may also be in the clouds as the water evaporates, so it may end up in the clouds and traveling across the country wherever the clouds go, and then it rains wherever it rains, it ends up in that water source.
It ends up raining peace on everyone.
So I'm going to, before I read this, I'm going to share something that happened. We had a real ruckus in the little town that we live in when there was an arrest warrant served in a town outside of the city limits of this town and several miles away. And people were injured in the whole thing. It was not a viable arrest warrant, and it just really raised Cain. And in a discussion with people who were very upset about it, I thought about it and I thought, well, I know what I'm going to do. You know, I'm not going to go to a meeting and protest or anything else. What I did was I made some little patches. They were probably a little smaller than that. And I took them to a place where the city fathers and the chief of police had their morning coffee, and put it underneath some of the tables. And that's all I did. And then I went over to City Hall and I put a few patches under the rocks around the building. And I thought, well, let's just see what happens with peace. Well, you can come to your own conclusions about it, but about 6 weeks later, the chief resigned. And within another 6 weeks, the mayor resigned. So it did bring a measure of peace to the town from the standpoint that those that had let this whole event happen were no longer in command. So I like to think, well, maybe those little peace patches in the coffee shop and under the rocks did their work. So it's a nice way to handle protest without being an out loud protester. I guess that's what I would say. So, and then you can, as I said, you can put this around your property. And I had somebody who made patches to put around the apartment complex where she was. Well, the landscapers moved them all, and she said, well, now what am I going to do? And I said, take your spray bottle and spray the rocks. They're not going to move the rocks, and then your plasma energy water will be right there, and it'll be giving off the fields. When we measured fields at one point on the plasma energy station, and it's held true of other things we've measured, the energy fields were over 30 feet. So, Paul, is that only going to be 30 feet spreading out this way?
No, it's all directions. Up, down, sideways, every direction.
Okay, so if you had a peace perimeter around your property, you would almost be like inside of a globe of peace.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Well, here's our intention and invitation regarding peace. All plasma energy that originated from Lynn and Paul's efforts joins every other bit of plasma energy that originated from Lynn and Paul's efforts, wherever that plasma energy is in the world. On the land, in the waters of the rivers, lakes, and oceans, in the air, and in the clouds above. All that plasma energy brings Lynn and Paul's intention everywhere on, above, around, and below the surface of planet Earth, that all living beings are filled with love, peace, joy, freedom, and well-being, with the ethics and morality to support the love, peace, joy, freedom, and well-being of all living beings on planet Earth, including the living being, our home, planet Earth. All of like intentions are invited to join this intention. So I want to thank you for watching us today, and if you'd like to know more about plasma energy solution, please go to our website. It's plasmaenergysolution.com. And do you have something you'd like to add?
I do not have anything more to add to that. Just a reminder, if you think you've gotten any value from this, please give us a big thumbs up and share this with your friends and relatives. Subscribe and click the bell next to the subscribe button so you'll get notification of upcoming videos. We thank you very much for your attention, and have a good day.